Okay, so we got a lot to go over. Breaking news. Wanted to come on here. Emergency video. Okay. Donnie Nelson is out as Mavs GM. It sounds like there's a huge shakeup happening in Dallas. Want to be very clear, though. There's still a lot coming out. That's why I wanted to wait a little tiny bit to get this video out, but I just got to get something. Like, I've been wanting to start recording this now for like the last hour or two whenever this broke, but it seems like every 5 minutes there's some type of new report or something about this. So I feel like now's a good time. Again, Donnie Nelson out as Mavs GM. That is the big story today, reported by Shams, what is that, about an hour ago. And again, the reason why I wanted to wait a little tiny bit here is because there's new news every 10 seconds about this, but I feel like now is as good a time as any. So Donnie Nelson is out. They have agreed to part ways. This is the Mavs official statement right here. We read it. Dallas Mavericks, Donnie Nelson have mutually agreed to part ways. There's no way that was mutual. I just want to thank Donnie for his 24 years of service to this organization. Said Mark Cuban, Donnie has been instrumental to our success and has helped us win championships. His hard work, creativity, and vision made a pioneer, blah, 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 blah. The Nelson family obviously is pretty much intertwined with the Dallas Mavericks. So if you think about the Dallas Mavericks, it's hard not to think about Donnie Nelson. They've been with the organization forever. In fact, Donnie Nelson's been with the organization longer than Mark Cuban has. So while we're all celebrating this, right? You guys watch the channel, you know I have been begging for Donnie Nelson to be fired for pretty much as long as this channel has existed. But it is bittersweet because he did win a championship here. He built a really good roster in 2011. He's the reason why we had Dirk Nowitzki. He's the reason why we had Steve Nash. So, you know, he took us to 2 finals. He did his job, but that was 10 years ago. You know, that was 10 years ago. We haven't made it past the first round of the playoffs since then. I was ready to move on. Time to clean house. And it appears that we have done this. Now, the big concern is, right, I was telling my friend this is either going to be a huge, great day for the Dallas Mavericks or it's going to be an absolute disaster. The reason why, you guys probably are aware of the Athletic article that came out a couple days ago by Tim Cato, who basically said that Bob, what the fuck is his name? Hargales, whatever the fuck this guy's name is. What is it? It's somewhere here. Here we go. Harlabos Vulgaris, Bob Vulgaris, that he was basically the shadow GM of the team, and that there was kind of a rift forming between him and Donnie Nelson. Now we have news that Donnie Nelson is out. I'm very concerned that this was Mark Cuban kind of doing a power play here, upset about that story leaking, and now he's going to promote Bob to the GM. That would be an absolute disaster, make no mistake about it. But then we had reports that, what is it, right? Where's the reports? We had reports from KOC, Kevin O'Connor, earlier in the day. Kevin O'Connor's pretty well respected, that Bob Vulgaris is also out. This would be huge. This would mean that the Mavericks are completely cleaning house in the front office. This would be a monumental step forward. What would this mean for Rick Carlisle? I'm not entirely sure. A lot of the times when a front office is clear, that usually means the coach is on his way out as well. I guess we'll have to wait and see what's to come from Rick. I mean, there are some tremors, some rumors that Rick is interested in the Milwaukee Bucks coaching position if it were to become available. He came out and refuted those reports, but who knows? Who's to say, really? But that's something to keep an eye on. But there have been some conflicting reports on this. KOC reported that Bob Vulgaris is out, and then just like 10 minutes later, conflicting reports came out that Vulgaris will remain with the Mavericks. And this scares me because, as you can see right here, Bob Vulgaris added to his Twitter bio. This was not on his Twitter bio. Credit to Reddit. I saw this on Reddit. I didn't do this. This is not my investigative journalism work. But he added head collector to his Twitter bio, which is a little spooky because there are also rumors that Vulgaris had a burner Reddit account and that he was like slandering Donnie Nelson all over the Mavericks subreddit. It's a whole huge thing. I recommend looking into that if you can. In fact, I probably have. Let's see. I probably have some type of. Yeah, here we go. This is it. This is like Donnie supposedly Vulgaris's burner account on Reddit, where you see where he talked. All of his comments are in regard to like Donnie Nelson in the front office, and you can kind of see. Obviously, the only thing he does is defend Vulgaris, and a lot of people are theorizing that this is Vulgaris. And then this same Twitter account, where is it? This same Twitter account posted this underneath the Reddit post of Donnie Nelson getting fired. So we'll see, right? Of course, again, that story came out on Monday, which is interesting to note because apparently the decision to fire Donnie Nelson came on Sunday. So the story that broke on Monday from The Athletic that Voulgaris was like the shadow GM and that it created a power rift, that came out a day after Donnie Nelson, like the Mavericks decided they're going to let Donnie Nelson go. So that kind of leaves me thinking, right? People are wondering who was the source, who's the source, who's the source. It's got to be Donnie Nelson or somebody from Donnie Nelson's camp, right? That just makes the most sense. Trying to save face, trying to, I don't know, burn the whole place down on the way out. Now, Cato did come out just a few minutes ago and said that Donnie Nelson was not his source. Obviously, as a journalist, you're not going to reveal your sources ever. But it is interesting to note that he did come out and specifically say, yo, he was not my source. It could be somebody from Donnie Nelson's camp, right? Or somebody else inside the organization who's just seen how this has all played out. But it is interesting to note that the decision to move on from Donnie Nelson came on Sunday, and that article dropped on Monday. So there's a lot of shit going on in this Mavs front office. And you see right here, this is exactly what I think too. Donnie Nelson might have directly or indirectly sourcing Cato in that article. It might have been indirect. It might have been through somebody else, but essentially through Donnie Nelson. But I'm concerned because if Voulgaris is not gone and he gets promoted to general manager, it's going to be a nightmare. You think back to the Jackie Easterby situation in Houston. This is going to be worse. This is going to be worse if Voulgaris is promoted up to GM, if he's not actually out of the organization. If he's gone and the Mavs are cleaning house, bravo. Bravo, Mark Cuban. You did it. We cyberbullied you on Twitter to submission. Thank you. But if Voulgaris is not gone, I am greatly concerned. Greatly concerned that this is true right here. That Cuban figured out who the leak was, found out it was Donnie Nelson, and said, all right, peace out. I'm going to side with my man, Voulgaris. And I do agree with Jeff Kavanaugh here. Shout out to Jeff Kavanaugh. Really enjoy him. I think he's one of the better Dallas media people. But I've been feeling this way for a while. Mark Cuban is who people accuse Jerry Jones of being. I think Jerry Jones is his own. That's its own can of worms right there. But it's hard to say. It's a little jarring, I guess, that Donnie Nelson is out, and we have conflicting reports about Bob, and now Bob's saying that he's a headhunter. He's putting headhunter in his Twitter bio. It's a little concerning. This made me feel a lot better that the Mavericks hired a search firm, and they are now, going to be using that search firm to help them find a head of basketball operations. Now, again, this doesn't really mean much. This could be optics entirely. Going back to that Jackie Easterby thing, the Texans hired some search firm to help them find the new GM of the team whenever they let Bob go. Lots of Bobs. Whenever they let B.O.B. go. And they didn't listen to a single word that search firm said. Instead, they hired Jackie Easterby's best friend, Nick Caserio, from the New England Patriots. So that is something to, keep in mind, that a search firm doesn't necessarily mean it's going to result in anything. But it is good to see that the Mavericks are at least looking at outside options. They're not just going to promote from within. That's what I want. I want somebody new in here. I don't mind, Rick Carlisle. If Rick Carlisle stays, I'm happy. But I have said on here before that if Rick Carlisle is let go and there's a huge, there's complete, the front office is completely cleaned out and that leads to Rick Carlisle moving on, I'm okay with that. I think Rick is a pretty good coach. I think he's a little overhated by Mavs fans. But again, if a new front office comes in and they decide they want to move on from Rick Carlisle, I have no issues with that. This is, in my opinion, best case scenario. Masai is a free agent. I think his contract is up in Toronto. Now, he did tweet recently that he's Toronto forever or whatever it was. We know in the NBA, shit changes literally second by second. So I would love to see Masai come here. You move Rick to a front office role and then give Mosley a shot as head coach. I would love this. This to me would be perfect, right? You get a complete and total cultural reset within this organization that is desperately needed. But in order for this to happen, Cuban would have to agree to take a huge step back. A huge step back. And I'm not so sure that's possible. I'm not so sure we're going to see that. We'll see. The decision to move on from Donnie Nelson is huge. Again, he was the longest tenured GM in the NBA going into today. So moving on from him, a dude who's, again, been with this organization longer than Mark Cuban has, is a pretty big step forward. Now, this whole power vacuum shit, all of these leaks coming out, it's messy. It's tough to see, right? I'm sure most people within the organization hate the fact that all of this is coming to light. I don't know how much of this, to be 100% fair, is stuff that happens behind the scenes all the time for organizations. I mean, that's part of it is likely true, but the fact that this all became public is very, very messy. And if Cuban's response to that is just completely cleaning house, then I'm confident in the direction of this franchise. If it leads to Bob Vargules, whatever the fuck his name is, if it leads to him becoming the GM, I will never watch this sport again. I will never watch the Dallas Mavericks again. The ball's in your court, Mark Cuban. The ball is in your court. It's time to take a step back. It's time to bring somebody in who knows what they're doing, who has experience building teams. Let them be in charge. Let them be the face of the franchise. I'm 100% okay with that. Let them make the decisions, and then we can go from there, right? It does make me happy that, hold on, I saw a funny-ass tweet. Lou GM mode activated. It does make me happy that the team seems to at least be listening to Luka, right? And because Donnie's gone, right? This comes after Donnie was criticizing Luka. The way Donnie was talking to the media after getting bounced by the Clippers, you could tell something was up. You could tell Donnie felt the walls closing in. But the fact that they're letting go of Donnie, I just would be shocked. I'd be shocked if Vargas is I say that guy's name wrong every single time, and I'm okay with that. I would be shocked if this dude's on the team any longer. But knowing Mark Cuban, I also wouldn't be shocked if this guy was the GM of the team next year. We'll see. Huge. I mean, this is massive. This is fucking huge. So we're gonna have to wait and see, man. I mean, the future of the franchise is at stake. I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that. The future of the franchise is at stake, depending on what happens over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, who gets brought in. Because again, no, this isn't where I wanted to go. It's not like, you know, you have months to decide, right? Offseason is right around the corner, and you want to have a plan, a solid plan going into the offseason. So you're gonna have to get somebody new in here pretty much ASAP. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be wild. I'd be cool with, you know, Michael Finley getting promoted. He's in the front office again. You know, I would kind of like an outside, somebody from the outside to come in and provide a new set of eyes to this organization. But we'll see, man. Do I have faith in Mark Cuban? Absolutely not. No, I don't. But what else am I going to do? What else am I going to do? Streaming both games tonight. I know this video is a little unorganized. Again, this shit is this news is coming out as it's happening, okay? So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, you know, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys later tonight. Goodbye.